What is up? It is 10:45 Thursday morning. I just finished like an hour and a half of sparring with Dustin. Sparred with a couple of his people that he trains in the morning. Look like a hot mess. Like, had headgear on, shin pads, gloves, wraps, all that stuff, mouth guard. Sparring is no joke. It's a different type of like cardio. So that was good. I was gonna lift, but I'm gonna wait until after work. That way I can get a little bit more food in me because today's deadlift day. So I'm really looking forward to that. Heavy single, RPE 9. Last week we got 335, so we'll see if we can get, if not that, a little bit more. But yeah, we did some like wrestling too and just beat, honestly. But yeah, I'm gonna head home real quick, shower, get some food, hang out with Brody, update some client workouts, and then head back to work around like 2. So I have a little bit of downtime, take advantage of that, and then I'll show you guys what I do later for back day. It's still the same, but I'll just kind of update y'all on all the numbers I hit and all that. So I'll see you guys then. $345. Like, what? This is getting insane. So that was just 2 pounds under what my final attempt was at my previous competition, and it did not move that smooth at all. So I know we have been making some serious gains with deadlift, so I'm super excited to see how much farther we can peak with it, and just keep this momentum going, honestly. So I can't wait. Deadlift is like my favorite lift out of all 3, so I just feel like a tank with it. And so again, with the chains, I'm still having trouble with tying these around and getting them to the point where the plates don't end up dropping on them. I think you'll see it in just a second where I had to readjust. Yep, right there. So I talked with Justin, and he liked how I actually set it up last time a little bit better than how I wrapped it here. So what I'm going to do this coming week is just do it the way I did the original time, and then kind of play around with if I like it before the weights or if I like it on the outside like I have been doing them. So just play around and see with that. But he liked how I hooked it up with the carabiner a little bit more, instead of just wrapping it around the actual bar. So make adjustments there. These hip thrusts, if you've never done them paused, oh my gosh, those seconds feel like the longest seconds of your life. Maybe that's just me because hip thrusts are not my favorite, but they do help out a ton with your glute development, as well as focusing on that lockout and holding that weight at the top. It's just killer. So great day in this day. I'm going to catch up with you guys with the commentary in just a few minutes. But for now, I'll end it here. All right, so for the second time in the week, 195 was the weight that I was able to hit. But I think next week we are going to be doing RPE 9. I'm going to focus more on a longer pause, because I know the ones that I have been hitting this week, although they've been going up, I'm almost positive that those pauses are not long enough. So really focusing on that, seeing if I can have a longer pause. That way in competition, because you have no idea like how the referees are going to call it. You have the universal like commands and stuff, but sometimes those commands are given a little bit later or sooner than some other people. It just all depends on who the person is that are calling out the commands. So I'm going to try and focus on having a little bit longer of a pause. That way, for sure, come competition day, this weight will be able to fly up. So keep focusing on that. These pin bench with chains, again, those are killer. I highly recommend that you add those into whatever plan you have. They really do help with that lockout. So you set them up at 50% of lockout and just work up driving that motion. And the chains just add a whole different level of complexity to it. So give those a try. Let me know what you think. And yeah, so that's it for this day. All in all, really good day. Next week we'll start tapering down as we get closer and closer to competition. So I'm going to end this commentary here. I'll have a little bit more later in the video, so just sit tight. Alright, what's up? So it's just after kickboxing. I'm gonna go to the gym and do my speed work day. So last night I was walking Brody, and we were coming down. So like at the side of my house is like a hill and to our driveway, and I was walking him, and he starts getting the zoomies, like running around everywhere and stuff. And so I was running around with him, just to help him get all of that energy out, because he needs it. And running down the hill onto the driveway, and my ankle completely like rolls. And oh my god, I was so worried. If it's not one thing, it's another. Like freaking toe, my neck getting messed up from wrestling, and now my ankle. Fortunately, I monitored it last night and everything was fine. It did start like throbbing and hurting a little bit, so I immediately put ice and I took some anti-inflammatory. No bruising this morning. It actually feels a lot better. I can still kind of tell that I strained it a little bit, but it's nothing. Like I can walk fine, I can move my ankle fine. So just really worried because I thought I really messed it up. Like I rolled it pretty hard. So I'm just thankful that it's not a more serious injury. So I'm gonna go do the speed work today, see how it feels. Nothing is too heavy today, minus I think leg press, but that shouldn't bother it. But we'll see. So crap. So I'm gonna hop in and do that, and I'll film what I do in there. Alright, so after making that video, I realized I did not tell you guys what happened to my neck. So I filled you in with the toe. That's been feeling great, back to 100% there. But I was wrestling after kickboxing one night, and wrestling around with this girl. We're moving fine, and then she gets me in a choke. It was a pretty good choke. And so it kind of tweaked my neck a little bit, but it was fine the next morning. And then that next morning, I wrestled again with a different person. And this guy, like, he's pretty big, but we were wrestling, moving around just fine. And then just one split second, we land kind of odd, and my neck just completely, like, bent that same way that it did the previous night. So it strained it pretty good, to the point where I couldn't like turn my neck to the left. I had to turn like that awkward, like turn your whole body to the left to look that direction. So that was pretty interesting. It's gotten a lot better as I'm doing this commentary. I was several days after this, that this was recorded. But yeah, so now I can finally turn my neck to the left. That's all good. Toes fine. Ankles feeling a lot better. I don't feel like it's that strained anymore, but I am making sure that I am still icing. I use Icy Hot on it sometimes. That really helps it. So yeah, just been doing that, just making sure all of these little tweaks are not bothersome and don't continue to hurt, you know. So everything is doing great. Getting back into it. So really happy with how training has been this week. So I can't wait for next week. I know we're going to start, like I said before, we're going to start dialing it down, focusing more on just the main lifts, taking away a lot of the accessory movements. But I'm so excited for this meet. It's going to be super small, but I'm going to have a lot of people there who I just have known over the years in Suwanee, and they're going to come out and finally see what all this is all about and why I do this and why I'm lifting all the time. To be honest, it's just, I love it. I love the atmosphere. I love the people I've met through powerlifting, and it's just another way for me to make myself better every single day and support each other. At this community has been nothing but supporting, and I love it. So I'm ready. I'm ready to take this thing and roll with it and see how far I can go in this sport. In a second, you'll see my weight check. That was Sunday morning, and that's going to conclude this video.